Alright YouTube, so for this vlog I'll be doing something I don't do very often, and that's a scripted video. So the way this vlog sort of came in my mind was I was walking through town and saw one of the cinemas playing the movie Sinners, which I did do a spoiler-free review a month ago when it came out because I loved it, and yeah, it was really good. So this vlog will contain spoilers for that movie, and I figure by now anyone who wants to see it has most likely already seen it. However, I will still give spoiler warnings here and there for when I'm going to go into major plot details of the movie that relate to this vlog. And I remember not too long ago I heard that the director of Sinners was Ryan Coogler, who is also considered to direct the Marvel Cinematic Universe X-Men movie, which I'm really excited for. I'm excited to see Marvel give these characters the recognition and justice they deserve, because I have kind of mixed feelings about the other X-Men movies I saw, but I think with proper handling they'll definitely be cool. Now honestly, although Sinners seems to be many people's favorite movie of the year, mine honestly is Thunderbolts, but I really love both movies. No need to pin them against each other. Figure work together, why not both type scenario, because I think if they sort of do a Sinners and Thunderbolts sort of fusion kind of movie, that could be like, an absolute banger for the X-Men. So this wouldn't be Ryan's first rodeo with Marvel, as he has directed both Black Panther movies, which the second one I saw in theaters I believe 2 or 3 times, but I don't remember too much about it. I wasn't super impressed, but I did fairly enjoy it, especially the villain Namor was definitely very interesting, and he definitely does do a good job with villains, as we've seen with Michael B. Jordan's Killmonger in the first Black Panther, which I absolutely love the first Black Panther movie, and also, the vampires and Sinners, but I'm not going to go into that. Thinking about it, I'm not going to talk too much about spoilers in the movie after all, because yes, this is me now going off my script and changing my ideas, which I have many of in my big head. But what I loved about the first Black Panther movie is it had not only a killer villain, but also really good visuals and action, which I think is essential for the X-Men, as well as a great story and such likable and cool characters, which is essentially all I really want at the end of the day for the X-Men, is for them to be get shining light and be fun characters on the big screen. And of course a great story for the movie, but I do have some other sort of subtle details and somewhat interesting film ideas I have for the movie. So if we do a Sinners kind of X-Men movie, I do definitely see a lot of the supernatural and sort of monster-like vibes of the vampires in Sinners, as could potentially be similar to the characters in X-Men who are villains, such as Mystique or the other X-Men characters that I admit I'm not terribly familiar with. But hear me out, I think that could be really cool, because the same way Thunderbolts and Guardians of the Galaxy made me love characters I either didn't care about or didn't know existed, and many other people felt that way too. I actually predicted Thunderbolts to do that. I think although the X-Men are certainly more known characters, that they could still receive that sort of cool special recognition and sort of the niche vibe to some of the characters, because I believe the X-Men cast or rumored cast was leaked, and I was pretty impressed by it. I'll go into a vlog about it later, but for now I just want to talk about the movie. So I definitely think whatever Ryan did with sort of his IMAX cameras in Sinners would be very well translated to the X-Men movie. I don't think he's directing it, but if he does, or whoever does, I think take notes from that, because in Sinners there were really cool scenes. This is when I'm going to get into the spoilers, by the way, so click off this video if you don't want to hear any major details. So I heard Michael B. Jordan actually took shotgun classes, which I could tell he definitely did a good job with the ending scene of Sinners when he used his machine gun and took out a lot of the bad guys, as well as the vampires earlier in the movie. So I definitely think whatever that is, a lot of the X-Men characters I know have pistols and guns, so that could definitely translate well to a good scene and great action. And they include Deadpool in this movie. I think that also maybe more cinematography in terms of the martial arts, because I was impressed by a lot of the action in Deadpool and Wolverine, but I think it could be even better with more action. I don't really know what I'm saying now, so let me get back to my script. So I don't know the time period of the X-Men movie, but I do know that in Sinners it definitely seemed very time period accurate with a lot of the visuals and a lot of the characters. So I think whatever he's studying, that he does a good job with time, because at the very end of Sinners, and yes, as a spoiler, we see it around the 90s in the post-credit scene. So if X-Men takes place in the 90s, that would definitely be a step in the right direction to have Ryan use his visuals of how the 90s, I don't even know what I'm saying now, so got to go back to my script again. Yeah, as you can see, this is part of being an improv YouTuber. I know at the start I said I scripted, but It was not entirely true. I scripted some and kind of went off script and lost my script, so now I'm just gathering my ideas. But one thing I do want to say is I think Michael B. Jordan could be like, really cool if he returns to Killmonger. I don't think Killmonger would fit in the X-Men plot universe, sort of, so to speak. I don't know what that statement was, but point is I feel like he's more, a character in the Black Panther universe. If Black Panther and, the X-Men cross over, then, that makes sense. But I feel like depending on the little context I know about the X-Men movie, I don't know if his character would fit in, but I would like to see his character return in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I also know Haley Steinfeld was Hawkeye's daughter in the Hawkeye show, which I never watched, but thinking about it, her character maybe could fit like a glove with the young X-Men. I know she also voiced Spider-Gwen in the Spider-Man animated universe, which was really cool. So in conclusion of this vlog, this has been sort of a fun, humorous take on my terrible scripting abilities, but also just me throwing out ideas for an X-Men Sinners type movie. So did I do a good job? Did I do a terrible job? I don't know, but just my thoughts. Hope you guys like this vlog. Stay tuned more soon. Goodbye.